If you're looking for a quick side-by-side comparison between Fiverr and Upwork, then you're in the right place. We're going to take a look at the major similarities and differences that go beyond that they're both freelancing platforms which bring buyers and sellers together. And I'm going to use a comparison I've put together for you to make things more visual and easier to understand. If you'd like to download this PDF for yourself, there's a link in the description waiting for you. Okay, let's get to it. So here we can see a comparison between Fiverr versus Upwork for freelancers. Fiverr on our left here and Upwork on the right. So a comparison between the two. First of all, they're both free to join. What's interesting though over here is there is an option. Now on Upwork, this option to upgrade the plan used to only be $14.99. but they've since made a change in prices and now it's $49.99. But what you might want to keep in mind is that this isn't necessarily for individual freelancers like probably yourself. Instead, this may be more beneficial for team services and benefits. For example, if you have a team working together, a small company or a mid-sized company. Nonetheless, they're both free to join. However, when we get down to Fiverr versus Upwork and just getting on the platform itself, although they're free to join, there is a difference between getting approved. Now on Fiverr, there is no approval process. Yay, fantastic. It's easy to get on and start working. However, Upwork does, at least at the moment of this recording, require approval by moderators, which means, and there are a few things you need to go through this approval process. Some things that stuck out to me. Number one, you need a work email, which means you need a custom domain. If you have something like a Gmail account, it won't be accepted. And in addition to that, sometimes it's difficult to get approved. Nonetheless, it's worth trying. If you've got an email that fits this description, you might as well go through it, because remember, if you're freelancing, ladies and gentlemen, there's no reason to only use one platform, because you may be able to get some better clients sometimes on one compared to the other. It's better to have options, so why not offer your services on both platforms. When it comes down to names, now on Fiverr, you're not required to use your actual name. You can use a nickname, you can use an alias, something anonymous, something interesting, something catchy, something more creative. That's great. However, on Upwork, you are required to use your legal name, which may be because for tax purposes and other reasons. Nonetheless, that could be a significant difference for some freelancers. Now, as I've mentioned on my previous videos when we took a look specifically on Fiverr or Upwork, Fiverr is more focused on short-term work. If you're on there, you've got your gigs, you can just target clients individually and do selective work on a project-by-project basis. However, with Upwork, if you're looking to have more steady work with specific clients, you might want to use their platform, because clients know that this platform is geared more toward the long-term relationship building. So Upwork itself really does encourage more relationship building between the freelancer and the client, something to keep in mind. Which brings us to the next point, and I've sort of already mentioned this, that here on Fiverr, we're more project-based. Some people tend to try and charge by the hour, but Fiverr is really not a place to try and charge hourly. Instead of hourly, what you want to do is productize your services to where you might say, I can complete a certain project which you might identify or calculate an average to be 10 hours, 5 hours, or whatever it is, and you set a specific price for that. You don't charge by hour. Now that's different on Upwork. Upwork you can do by project, and it does have an hourly basis as well. So if you are really dead set on charging by hour, Upwork may be a better option for you. Now, both platforms are well known, and they're becoming even more well known after and during the COVID era. More people, of course, are online and offering services online. So when it comes to Fiverr, they have more name recognition. So there's probably more opportunity, but where there's more supply, there's more competition. So you might find it a little harder to compete. Try it out, see what works best for you. Upwork, on the other hand, is well known, but not as well known as Fiverr. And because of that, there is good opportunity, but the competition is a little bit higher skilled. So take a self-assessment of where you are with your skill set. If you're a little bit new to freelancing or whatever skills and services you're providing, Fiverr might be a better choice. If you're really confident and you think you're average or above average in your skill set, you might want to head on over to Upwork. But again, why not try both? Now, there are different tiers or levels for freelancers. On Fiverr, we have these 4 tiers. We have new seller, level 1, level 2, and top rated seller. New sellers, when you just get on the platform, you're a bit inexperienced on the platform, let's say, and this is where you start to build up a reputation and a portfolio on this platform, on Fiverr. Now, you can move up to a level 1 seller, and the requirements are here. Let's read together. A seller must successfully complete 10 highly rated gigs, which are projects, and have an active Fiverr account for a minimum of 60 days. So you need to be on the platform at least 60 days before you can reach a level 1. Level 2 seller makes you a little bit more marketable, and this is where a seller must successfully complete 50 highly rated on-time gigs and have a minimum active Fiverr account for a minimum of 120 days. And then to be a top rated seller, you must successfully complete 100 highly rated on-time gigs for a minimum of $20,000 worth and have an active account for half a year, 180 days. So this is how you progress. Now, if we take a look at Upwork, instead of tiers, they call them badges, and we have 4 categories as well, similar to Fiverr. We have rising talent, top rated plus, and expert vetted. Rising talent, this is based on having a strong background in early success with proposals and interviews. Not too specific here, but this is when you just start out. When we get to top rated, you need to have a job success score of 90% or higher. That's probably not difficult to do. But with top rated plus, you need to have a status, the same status as we have up here, 90% or higher. In addition to that, you need $10,000 worth or more in total earnings over a year's time. And to be an expert vetted, you need to be a top rated plus. You need to be in the top % of talent on Upwork, which may be somewhat difficult, but something to strive toward. And you need to be identified. There needs to be a pre-screening process by talent managers. So these top managers, these experts, will take a look at you specifically and make sure that you demonstrate strong soft skills. Soft skills are just how well you treat the customers, including reliable execution and excellent communication. So we have some similarities, but different ways that Fiverr and Upwork approach your levels on each platform. You have the option on both platforms to target clients. On Fiverr, you can make bids to clients, but you're limited to 10 a day because the platform doesn't want you to spam. So you can do some research, see what clients have postings that would relate to your services and reach out to them. On Upwork, you can do something similar, but you need to use what they call a currency, Upwork's currency called Connects. You get 10 of these, not per day, but per month. So you have you have fewer options here to target clients to make bids. If you want more than 10 a month, one way to do that is to buy them at 15 cents per, let's say, bid per connect. Also, by filling out certain forms, if you look on the website, you can earn more. So you're going to have more options on Fiverr to reach out and make bids. Now, when it comes to expectations, clients expect lower rates on Fiverr, as they're known to be more of an economic pricing. However, on Upwork, clients are going to expect higher prices, which means that you'll be able to set higher prices as well. You can earn more. That's the principle. Now, when it comes to payment protection, when you're working with a client, the client puts up money, it's held on the platform Fiverr or Upwork to ensure that you get paid. Now, when it comes to Fiverr, Fiverr is known to have less payment protection. And if there's a dispute, most likely Fiverr is going to side with the client instead of you, the freelancer. How often that happens, it probably doesn't happen that much, and it probably won't happen as long as you're communicating well, but you never know. You could come across a bad client. However, on Upwork, they do have a better payment protection program. It's not perfect, but it is more balanced when it comes to favoring the freelancer or the client. Now, this next part is project cap. This might not be of interest to you as an individual freelancer, depending on your projects, what you're doing. It might be more of interest to smaller companies or teams. But it's good to know that project caps are limited to $10,000 at a time on Fiverr, but project caps on Upwork are $500,000. That is huge. Something to know. But something that will be of interest to you is the percent that each platform takes from the project. So whatever revenue you're earning, each platform is going to take their own cut. And that's how they stay in business. So Fiverr is pretty straight up and forward. They're going to take 20% no matter what, at the moment at least. So that's easy to calculate. However, what is of somewhat more benefit on Upwork is, at least in the beginning, they're going to take 20% from you. Now, for the lifetime of a client, let's say you're working, remember this is a relationship building platform. So if you've got a client you've been working for a little while, and you've earned or charged more over $500, you'll go from the platform taking 20% to 10%, and that's a huge difference. And it probably doesn't take that long to generate over $500 of charging revenue. So that's significant. Now, 20 to 10, that's a 10% cut is big. Now, if you're going even further, if you're charging for the lifetime of a client over $10,000, they're only going to take 5%. So that's something to keep in mind. What I did find that's interesting on Fiverr is that when, as a client, I'm a client on both of these. Now, as a client on Fiverr, when I click pay, when everything's done, everyone's happy, I click to finalize a project. I'm asked, would you like to tip? And it gives you, you can tip X, 10%, 5%, whatever. Psychologically, when a client sees that, they're going to feel somewhat of an obligation to pay, especially if it's only one time. If it's a relationship that if a client is going to use this person more than once, then they probably won't do that. But if it's a one-time, one-off deal, you might get a tip. So that's something to think about. However, on Upwork, tips are not encouraged, most likely because relationships are encouraged, and you do get benefits here over a lifetime of a relationship. What's interesting, in addition to tips, on Fiverr, although tips are encouraged on Fiverr does not have any recruiter support. Now, this is a little different on Upwork because they do have what they call talent scouts. Clients can get talent scout help, but freelancers can also get help from talent scouts matching your services to clients that get you more work. However, in order to do that, you need to have demonstrated that you've been working well on the platform, and you need to go through an application and interview process. Why not give it a try? If you can, it can't hurt you. And finally, when it comes to customer support, Fiverr customer support relies heavily on chatbots. So if you have an issue, you're going to probably need to talk to a robot. It's the software. If you reach out to an actual human, you can do that. You can send in a support ticket, but it's going to be probably slow. However, my experience, it wasn't that slow, so it just depends. I've gone through this process already. On Upwork, customer support is limited to submitting support ticket. On Upwork though, customer support is limited to submitting support tickets. There's no chatbot, at least at this time, but responses are typically within 24 hours. So you are essentially probably going to get better customer support on Upwork than Fiverr. As you can see, both platforms are great choices, but different in specific areas. And freelancing is a great way to make income online. But a drawback as a freelancer is that the money that you're going to make is directly proportional to the time that you spend, which means that you're essentially trading your time for money. However, if you're interested in earning more income that keeps coming in even after you've finished a project, then you may want to check out this video right here.